and welcome back to another episode of How Very Hannah. Let's roll the titles. Once upon a time, there was a stagey girl with a big dream. She hoped, dreamed, and prayed to work at Tesco. Wait, someone's written this script wrong. Can we get a redo?
Take two.
I dreamed a dream that one day I would hit the stage. And so it seems that dream has come true. Whoa, whoa. Oh my God, you guys, it's really happening. My life has been changed for the better, and I'm seizing the day and spinning into the spotlight. How very slay, it's giving queen. How very cringe, get out my scene. It's beginner's call, the stage is set for me. How very Hannah, how very Hannah, how very Hannah, that's the name for my podcast show and your front row. So how very Hannah, hit the lights. How very Hannah, that's too bright. How very Hannah, that's alright. How very Hannah, no key change. Okay, it's my podcast show. Let's go. And there you have it. The verdict was for the long titles. So if you didn't want the long titles, just press the +15 and just skip through that bit. But if you listen to it, thanks for listening to it again. I hope you know all the words by now. And welcome back to another episode. I'm really excited for this. Oh, also, this is our official Halloween episode, even though there's nothing Halloween-y here right now except for me. Hopefully we can put a scary filter on my face now that I look like a witch or something. We don't have anything Halloween-y, but this is a spooky kooky episode. But my guest is not so spooky kooky. She is my lovely friend, Lizzie Bea. She's a star. She played Tracy Turnblad in Hairspray. She played Sister Mary Roberts in Sister Act. I forgot the name of it. She was my Martha Dunstock. I always forget if it's Dump Truck or Dunstock, which is the official name. But Martha Dunstock in Heathers and many, many more roles. And she is incredible. She's an icon. And she's here with her dog, Dolly. So let's get into it. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. Before we get into it, yeah. Make sure to follow the podcast. It really helps us out. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment with a Halloween emoji, and tell me what your favourite thing about the episode was. And now we can officially get into it. Okay, let's go. Welcome to the podcast, Miss Lizzie Bea! And the most special guest, Dolly. I mean, you can't see her right now.
She is somewhere.
She's behind you.
She's behind me.
Hey, panto season is fast approaching, everybody.
We're ready. We're just practicing.
Dolly is Lizzie's dog for the audio listeners, not I don't know, Lizzie's alter ego.
My imaginary friend.
Yeah, the ghost behind you. No, Dolly's on the floor. And Dolly, I met Dolly when we were doing Heathers.
Years ago.
Oh, and you when we were doing Heathers. Yeah. But Dolly most importantly. And she was such a different dog. And now she's so confident.
She is too confident sometimes.
No,
she's a good
She's
girl.
so sweet. She came straight into the studio and started rubbing her bum all over the carpet.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, we'll take it. And she's going to be here forever now. The bum juice, sorry. Step too far there. Anyway, Lizzie.
Hannah.
Welcome to How Very Hannah.
I'm thrilled to be here. I'm so thrilled to be here. I can't believe that I'm on Hannah Lowther's podcast.
Stop it. Oh my God. Okay, well, Lizzie and I obviously met in Heathers.
We did.
Martha Dunstock.
Martha Dumptruck in the flesh.
Here comes the cutie squad. Do you know what? Heathers was a time. Oh,
she agrees.
Dolly was like,
Yes, it was.
Heathers was a time, and we were just talking before we started filming that Heathers is going to haunt us, not haunt us in a bad way, but it's going to haunt us for the rest of our lives.
And I was saying, because Hannah was at what's it called, Musical Con yesterday, yes. And they had this massive Heathers segment still, and there isn't even a production of it on at the moment. It is just that show, and I do a lot of teaching, and teenage kids just love it. I think
they just resonate with it, don't they? They love the high school vibes, maybe.
Look, it is an amazing show. Before I was ever involved with it, the soundtrack's amazing, and I think that style of singing is what kids want to do now, and they think it's vocally impressive and all of that stuff. But it's just crazy what has happened with that show. But I always feel lucky that I've been involved with it, because I think for so many people it's the dream, isn't it? And I did it twice, Hannah Lowther.
You did it twice?
I did, because I did the first ever workshop in 2017.
Gosh. How did I forget that? So who else was doing that workshop? Was that at the other palace in the studio?
Yes. So a lot of the people who then were like the OGs on the cast album.
Okay.
So the Jamie Moscato.
Okay.
Can you imagine me just walking in and being like, Jamie Moscato over there? I was literally like
I would
a shell of myself. I don't think I actually spoke to him for
the whole
like
time.
5 days. I was like, hello.
Well, actually, if you think about it, like JD and Martha don't really... You were playing Martha, right, for the workshop?
Yeah, but I wanted to talk to him, believe me, because he's an icon.
He is.
And
Did you see Gatsby?
Very nice to look at. Yes, I actually had to see... That sounds awful. I had to see it. I went to go watch it twice because I was teaching for West End Stage this summer, and that was the show that we took the kids to.
Cool.
So I got to see it twice, and his vocal is one of the best things I've ever heard in my entire life.
It was like an out-of-body experience.
Because it
like,
looks
watching
effortless.
it. Yeah.
Like it looks like
I was
he's
actually
not
like
singing.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's so weird.
And he's so laid back, but he is as a person. Like he's so
just chill. He's just a
just
chill.
like
I'm
too
just a
cool
chill
for
guy.
school. And there's me literally like backstage, like nebulizer, water, like, oh my God, my voice.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
yeah, it's all right. It's fine.
It's chill.
Have you seen recently the videos, I think...
Of George?
Is it George Crawford? Yeah. Sorry,
the
I forgot his
last
surname
one.
then.
So my other half, Alfie, worked with George last year. So I know George. Hello, George, if you're listening. And the last one where it was Jamie and Frankie's partners, I swear, Hannah, you know how bad I am at corpsing. I'd have had to walk off stage, show stop, immediate. There's no way I could have carried on.
It was so funny. So if you haven't seen, George Crawford was in Gatsby, and he basically did this thing at the same part of every show. There was a moment where Jamie like looked off stage left or wherever to be like, oh, I've got something to show you or something like that. And he looked over and George was always there like doing something funny or like...
He's like in a Spider-Man costume.
Yeah,
or like
just being silly and like trying to distract. And one of them was like, sing Freeze Your Brain. And I just thought that was so funny. What, did you see the video of Jordan... No, what's his name? The really famous guy who played Jay Gatsby. Oh, Jeremy Jordan.
Oh, Jeremy Jordan.
I was like, Jordan Gatsby.
Jordan Gatsby.
Jeremy Jordan. It was a video of Jeremy Jordan going... like this.
Oh,
Did you
yes,
see that
he got made
He
for
got
him.
a video from Jeremy Jordan to hold up side the stage
commitment
when
was
Jamie looked off, going
unreal.
like this, like bad. And it was so funny. But
Do
like
you know
we're
that
bad
Jeremy
with
Jordan was the original JD as well?
What?
Yeah. So like
In America?
Yeah, like it going on stage,
Yeah.
he'd done all the workshops.
Oh my God, what, and then didn't make the final cut?
Well, I think he was probably then like too
must have been
old by the
busy.
time it was
Oh,
on.
yeah,
Do you know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how old he is, but yeah, so he did all like the pre-thing. So it's really weird because Jamie's then played all the same parts.
Yeah, they've got a
basically.
similar career paths, haven't they?
But they have got two of the best voices in the whole entire world.
Yeah, do you know, I saw The Outsiders on Broadway and I was like, Jamie Moscato needs to be in this. I say Tracy, you say Turnblad. Tracy.
Turnblad.
Tracy.
Turnblad.
I feel like when we did Heathers, you had just played Tracy Turnblad.
Yes, literally just.
And I was literally like, teach me every single routine, please. And you were like, Hannah, sit down.
That's still my life.
Really?
Literally. I was saying to Hannah, like, normally when I get asked to go and teach workshops, it will always be Heathers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people always want Heathers. But if I ever get asked to do dance, I say, you really should have me doing You Can't Stop the Beat because it's the hardest thing people will ever do. And I think that routine is like the reality of about as bad as it's ever going to get in terms of working hard on a stage.
And stamina, oh my God.
It was crazy.
It's
So
a long
going
song.
from 20 minutes, that number.
Sorry?
In the show, 20 minutes. And Tracy is obviously on from the start till the end. So
And quick changes, right?
By the time Marisha used to come on and do like the last minute, I'd be like, I've been on here for 19 minutes. Thank you very much.
And you're taking the
dancing and
applause at
singing
the
my
end.
heart out. But yeah, it's crazy. So going from that to Martha, I felt like I was on holiday. I honestly was like, all I do is like wander around the stage and sing one song.
And sit on the bridge and sing one song.
The dream.
And then sit on a mobility scooter.
Don't.
No, because that used to have us in creases every single night.
I'd literally be in the wings, like making faces at them, ready to come on.
Lizzie's the worst. Like, I'm really
love
bad
it.
with corpsing too. And I think you are you?
But I love it.
Yeah,
I think
same.
it's a big part of the job. I understand, like, I would never do anything where I'm like, I'm going to ruin the show because I take my job really, like, sometimes too seriously. I think, like, I really do feel like people have paid £150 to come watch this, like, we're going to give them a really good show. However, once you are in a show and you are like, this is Groundhog Day, I literally do exactly the same thing 8 times a week. You've got to spice it up a little bit. And it's also like learning who does like mucking about, and if people don't, you just don't muck about with them. Like, it's knowing people's boundaries. And
well, it's like the George Crawford thing, it's doing silly things like that, you know,
knowing that Jamie and Frankie were like on board with it. It's exactly that. And
it's like a muck up matinee. It's not meant to be obvious to the audience, and it rarely is.
But I just feel like on Heathers, we were not mentally well, a lot of us, but like we really just found a tribe of people who were like crazy, but like my kind of crazy. Like our dressing room,
it was chaos.
It's some of the best memories I have of a dressing room ever. We just laughed all the time.
We were talking about that, me and MJ, the other day as well, and saying we were so lucky for the group we had in that dressing room, because it was just so much fun. And like the other palace has very small, there's 2 dressing rooms, one for the boys, one for the girls, like very small dressing rooms, and they turned one cupboard into an extra dressing room as well.
Yeah, well, they needed to, because honestly,
there was too many people.
You like literally couldn't get change. You were on top of each other.
And there was how many of us in that room? Maybe like 10, I think, at
one point. Yeah,
but it was good times. Although we remember it as good times. It was.
It was great times. I do remember, and I'm going to give her a shout out because she will listen, but Kaylee McKnight one time did turn around to me and MJ and say, I love you both very much, but please shut up.
But Katie also humbled me when I first got there, because I was set up. She had set out her station how you're meant to. Like, I didn't know that was a thing where you put your towel on the desk and you put all your bits and bobs out. And I just like plonked my makeup bag down. I was just going chucking things out. Like, where's my? And then like being like, oh, can I use your deodorant?
You still were not the most chaotic person in there.
Really? Though. Okay, I'll take it. And Kaylee was like, Hannah, I love you, but you're gonna need to like use your own stuff and not put it on my station. I was like, got ya, thank you. And now I know. And it's like the dressing room etiquette is a big thing.
Yeah, and I also do think that like we, especially me, you and MJ, we used to egg each other on. And I think we did need someone who was like, right, can we take this down a couple of notches, please? When me and MJ, everyone else was trying to relax, me and MJ would be doing a rap battle in the corner.
With music.
With boom, a YouTube backing track blasting out.
Yeah.
But it was just so fun. And honestly, I don't know what it was about that job. I think it's because we did those 4 show weekends. I felt like I lived in that room.
We did. We lived in that building.
And we would both commute as well.
So I'd get there super early because I was always nervous about being late. So I'd just be there like 2 hours before the call time, cutting the show on my laptop.
Every day a different cut.
Every day. I had like eczema all over my eyelids because I was so stressed.
Do you remember when me and MJ had to push that piece of set and we forgot to take the break off, and it was just going across the stage?
Yeah. So in Heathers, like, as well as ensemble members, we're also assistant stage managers, and it's our job to move all the set, which actually in a lot of shows is the case. Like the ensemble are moving the set.
I was doing it in Sister Act.
Yeah, like there's not at the Dominion, like there's not automation in a lot of, you know, especially at the other pads, there's no automation for us anyway. So like, we're moving a lot of the set and stuff. And one day we were so low on cast members, but it was still safe to like do the show. So like it wasn't the worst scenario, which would be cancelling. We were so low on cast members, I asked Lizzie and MJ to move a piece of set, but they forgot to take off the break, and they just pushed it along like scraping the floor.
But the worst thing
must have been so heavy.
I moved that every day.
Really?
MJ was the new person doing it, and I think I was so thrown that I was doing it with MJ that I still forgot to take it out, and I walked off like, I don't know why that didn't work today. And I was like, we were literally scraping a piece of metal across the stage. It was just chaos, but like every day was like that.
But the best memories, actually.
It actually is though, because, and I do think that shows like that where you're all having to band together, you have to just get on with it. They bond you for life. It was exactly the same. I did a show called Fat Friends years ago.
Who else was in that? I feel like
loads. Jodie Prenger was the lead.
Yes.
Our girl Jodie.
Yeah, we love her.
You need to get her on there.
Yeah. Well, we actually went Oliver to. Well, I was a kid when she was Nancy.
You should get her on. She'd.
Yeah, that would be
a
cool.
laugh.
What? Someone write that down. Jodie Prenger. How do you say it? Prenger.
Prenger. Yeah.
I need to remember that. Prenger.
Freddie Flintoff, the cricketer, was in it.
Sorry, that's wild to me. Freddie Flintoff. You got his number?
Yep.
Come on, proof. No, I'm joking.
My phone's over there, but I actually do.
I'm kidding.
And we used to call him Melman from Madagascar because he was really tall.
Melman the giraffe.
We'd be like, all right, Melman. But it was like one of those shows where, because it was a brand new show and we were touring and it was just like chaos, I have some of my best friends for life, because there was one day, right, you thought Heathers was bad. There was one day, so I was a swing. I should never have been a swing. Me as a swing is not what we want. And I'd been told, you will never have to cover a male track because the show's not going to be like that. And there was one day where we literally had like 2 lesbians and a whippet on stage. It was, you know what it's like. They were like, Lizzie, you're going to have to be the whole female ensemble and cover some male bits. And I was like, sure. It was so bad that for this one number, we used to do all of these bits with props. And my friend Ryan, who's a dance captain, said, we can't do any of that because we don't have enough people. So please, can you just kneel centre stage and do jazz hands with a big smile on your face? And I thought,
I'm picturing this.
Okay, I actually want the ground to swallow me right now.
Or literally just this.
And I had this pair of leopard print like pumps on. And at some point during the dance, my little toe had come out of the pumps. So I'm kneeling centre stage doing jazz hands with my little toe just out of the shoe like this. And I walked off stage and I literally went up to Ryan and I said, I think this is the low point. This is the low point of my career.
Surely as worse as it's going to get.
Right here.
But it's mad because, like, it was a UK tour, right?
It was a UK tour.
Like, doing, like, a UK tour job is incredible. Like, me at drama school looked at anyone doing professional work and be like, that's the dream. And then when you're actually doing the dream and your little toes hanging out your pump and you're
centre stage like this, pure panic.
Not knowing what's coming next. It's like, is this like the peak? Because it doesn't feel like it. You know,
but the adrenaline, you can't explain the adrenaline. It's just
nice,
like, it's literally like coursing through your veins. You're like, I'm saving the show. I'm doing jazz hands front and centre. It's like, it was just horrendous.
I kind of live for those moments. The adrenaline, it fills you.
Yeah, it does. And you just do
it's exhausting.
And Heathers was like, I mean, you having to cut all that. I used to just be like, oh God.
Not another one.
Not another one.
Yeah, well, you do Heather Duke, sure. But like, I live for that. I live for things like that because I didn't know the track. Well, I did know the track, but I didn't officially know the track. And like actually going on and doing it like gave me so much like, I don't know, I can't think of the right word. Adrenaline.
Yeah, and I think every experience is a learning experience and you learn as you go along like what your boundaries are and what you will say yes to and what you'll say no to. And I think you get better at saying no as you go along, and it's not saying no because you want the show to be cancelled or you want something bad to happen. It's going, is this the right thing to do for everyone in that building?
Yeah, and protecting yourself and your cast.
It's exactly that.
Yeah,
and
100%.
And it's difficult because as actors we are just conditioned to not make a fuss and to say yes to everything and all of that. And I had times on Heathers where I was like, oh God, here comes Lizzie, the miserable old witch who's going to like go around to everyone and say, guys, we shouldn't do this. But it's really difficult because obviously from the like producer's perspective, they just want the show to happen. But, you know, you have to have like your boundaries of like, is this the right thing to do for everyone? But I think you were amazing at like making those decisions. And
I tried, but also it was my first like big job as well. So I always say I learned a lot from you and I learned a lot from everyone on that job that like I didn't even know what my job role was as a dance captain. Like I didn't know like what that would really entail, or like if we had a cancelled show or a cut show, and I didn't like actually know what that was. So like I learned so much from everyone. Like I remember we had a situation just after press night where we had to cancel the show mid-show and nobody knew what, like I was essentially in charge, like I didn't know what to do. So I was like to a company manager, like, what do we do? And they were like, I don't know. And I was like, what's going on here? But I feel like you turn to people who with experience in those moments, and that's why we bond so much, because we're all just helping each other.
And you then go and do other stuff. And I do think Heathers is a very unique setup because of the way the covering works. Those decisions are 100 times more complicated than they'd be on another show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you do just get to a point when you're like, as long as it's safe, we will, and we're being treated well, we'll muck in and it'll happen.
Yeah, buy us a selection box and we'll do it.
We don't want cancelled shows either. No. We want to do our job. I know sometimes actors get a bit of a rap for like, oh God, they're always moaning. We want to do the show.
Yeah, we do.
So, you know, we will always try and make it happen. But yeah, it was a whirlwind.
It was a whirlwind
job.
So I've got my pitch pipe and we have a little Hannah's hotline.
The
bedazzled pitch pipe that I can never open.
I feel like I'm on Pitch Perfect. I saw the sign
and it opened up my eyes. Hannah's Hotline. She loved it. Look at her face. She was like, wow.
I'm taken aback, but it was great.
Thank you. I'm going to put her there. Oh, can you hear that? The phone's ringing.
Yes.
Can you hear that real phone ringing? Quick, get it, Lizzie. Can you reach that?
Just about. Hello.
Hi guys, have either of you ever experienced anything ghostly or haunted in London or UK theatres?
Ooh, spooky.
Do I stay on the phone?
Nah, you can just put it on
down.
Put it on hold or something. Ooh.
I actually really believe in ghosts.
Okay. Have you ever experienced a ghost in a theatre?
Yeah. Twice. So the first time was at Edinburgh Festival Theatre, which is quite haunted. If you research it, it's quite haunted. And there was a bit before... So it was like towards the end, long story short, my other half was in Sister Act tour as well. So I would always be a dweeb and I'd like go and watch the end of his song in the wings.
Cute.
Also, I did have to push a piece of set on at the end of it, the glamour. And there was a bit when I'd like leave the quick change and then I'd go round to the wings. Yeah. And as I was walking, I just heard, Lizzie, like that. And I turned around and there was no one there. And we'd already researched the ghost. That? So I was like, that's definitely a ghost.
How did the ghost know your name?
Because I'm kind of a big deal. So that was the first one.
So
and then the second one was in Oxford. Have you ever done Oxford? Because Oxford's really haunted as well.
Oxford's a really old theatre. And when we were there with SpongeBob, we didn't even have running water. Well, we did for a while, and then they were like, can you not flush the toilets like half an hour before or after the show?
Not this.
We were like, what? Because they were having problems with the water systems. That's all I remember from Oxford. Anyway.
Not being able...
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So we were all just holding it.
There's like this cupboard thing in the quick change. If you had it in the same place, like stage left wing, there's like where the lift would be.
Right.
And they normally put the quick change in there. Yeah. And there's a cupboard there and we'd always hear like banging coming from the inside of the cupboard. But we had quite a lot of people on Sister Act who were quite into like the occult and witchy stuff.
Vibes.
But I believe it. I think it's fun to believe it in theatres because the history of it is really cool.
Well, there's meant to be a ghost at Theatre Royal Drury Lane, and we actually went for an afternoon tea there. It was so nice. I would also highly recommend, not an ad, but I would highly recommend. It's called The Lane, London.
Okay.
And they do like afternoon tea experience. If you've got like theatre-y people, it was so cute. And they take you into the theatre, they give you a tour, tell you about the theatre. And like, I've never really deeped it that much. Like there is so much history in these theatres, but like you just go there, you watch a show, you watch Hercules or whatever's on, and then leave. Like there's so much history in these theatres. And it's the oldest theatre in London. Mm-hmm. And there's a ghost that's often seen at the back of the dress circle, the grand circle. And I've heard about the ghost before because I did Oliver there when I was a kid, and it was all like, oh, there's a ghost. And like, I never saw it, but they used to do ghost tours in the theatre.
I do, yeah, I think I knew that about Drury Lane.
I don't think they do that anymore. They just do an afternoon tea where they tell you about it. And if you go in, turn left and go up those stairs, there's like this mural on the wall with like loads of kind of theatre-y looking characters on. And in the background of the mural is like a greyed out character, and it's the ghost on the mural. So they've painted in or carved in the ghost. And it's really cool that it's there, but I would never have known that before if I hadn't done this tour. And the lady just told us that it had a name. I can't remember what its name was, but it was like a little boy, and his ghost is like actually on the mural. And I just thought that was really cool, like that they've put that really in there, cool. And it's obviously like part of the history of the building. That building was like opened in like 1633 or something.
Some of them
like
are
that,
so old. Another thing which we had was on Hairspray, Mr. Michael Ball was really strict about people not whistling.
Oh yeah,
and that goes back to a ghosty thing because it's how they used to cue the flies coming in.
Right.
They used to whistle. So the superstition is that you shouldn't because something's going to hit you on the head.
Drop and hit you on the head.
And that was another one of the ghosts in Edinburgh as well. He was like on the fly floor. That was like one of them. So
really?
You have to be strict about it there as well.
See, I don't think I'm like present enough to even, if there was someone banging on the back of a thing, I would just be like, I don't think I'd even notice it. I'd be too busy filming TikToks or something. Hey guys, get ready with me. And there's a ghost in the background like, hello, Hannah.
Literally see it.
Yeah, I could literally see it in the background of the video. And I'm like, yeah, cool, back to my makeup.
But I love it all. Alfie and I quite often watch that Help My House is Haunted.
Oh, do
program.
you?
We love it. We absolutely love it.
My sister used to love watching Yvette Fielding.
Yeah. Derek Acora.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called, but there was one where they would like, it's the one with Cheryl Cole, and she was like, is there someone in the room with us? Like that.
So good.
So many iconic moments from that. Okay, you've had quite a few experiences.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
I
then
haven't, but...
some people would say, yeah, but that's not real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think you have to choose to believe these things because it's quite nice.
It is. And also, like, if I was to become a ghost, well, one day if I become a ghost.
Yeah, you'd want to be in a theatre.
I'd want to be in a theatre.
Exactly.
Which theatre? The Palladium, please.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have to die in the place to be a ghost in the place, or can you just, who knows?
I don't know. I don't know how it works, really.
In that kind of world. But
I think the Palladium's a good one because the shows change a lot, so you'd see loads of stuff.
Panto season would be a hoot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It wouldn't be the same show for like
Jessie
years and
J
years and
live at the
years.
Palladium. Perfect, front row seat.
Just on someone's lap.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, cold. Hannah Lauber sat on my lap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? I mean, touch wood, not anytime soon.
No,
but
it won't be,
yeah,
but
I'd love to haunt
that's
the
what we'll
Palladium.
aim for.
Yeah. Sorry, Dolly. She was like, what? Confessions of a drama queen. Okay. Oh, we've got a confession. We've got a listener confession coming through.
So people send these in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Hannah. During our last show, I completely forgot to switch my mic off when I went backstage. One of the other cast members messed up a line and I made a comment about how they really need to get with the programme. And I think the audience and the cast heard, including the person I was being mean about. I feel terrible. How do you recover from that level of embarrassment? Kiss.
It's iconic.
That's quite funny.
It would be me. That's the thing.
Yeah, like I've screwed up a line. It's like, oh, what's she playing at? And that came through the thing. I think
what
that
they said could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
think
get with the
that's that
programme. It could have
bad.
been like, yeah, it could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse. You probably do feel mortified because it's like one of those things that like you never wanted the person to hear you say it, but it's not that bad.
I remember in Heathers, it wasn't like about anyone, but there's a bit, spoiler, where JD gets chowed or something. Something like that, if you've ever seen it on Amazon Prime, available to watch now, goes pachow. And Rory, who was playing Ram, his mic came on backstage and he was being really attentive and just like listening to the show or something. And there was a big boom and he went, he's dead, bye-bye.
No, absolutely not.
His mic was on and it was just so funny. We heard it on the monitors, we heard it from the stage. He's dead, bye-bye. And it was just so funny.
No,
like,
that's
so
more
stupid.
embarrassing.
That's more embarrassing, right, than being talking about someone.
I think it's a really difficult one because we both did performing as kids. I didn't do it professionally, but I did loads of Amdram and they'd always bang on to you about like you've got to be careful backstage in case your mic's on, but you can't live your life like that. Do you know what I mean?
It's actually not our job to turn the mics on.
You can't walk around the corridors of the theatre like,
my
mic might be on.
Like, no.
That's not the reality of it. So it wasn't their fault.
No.
Their mic shouldn't have been on. It was a flippant comment.
And also, as much as we encourage kindness and politeness, everyone makes comments here and there, don't they? And like, oh God, actually, do they?
I don't think...
Yeah, no, I don't feel like it was a mean comment. It was just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And also, they might not have even heard, although they do think that they did. But I wouldn't deep it and just apologise to the person. Just go up to the person and say, I'm really sorry that you heard that.
Obviously, I didn't know my mic was going to be on.
Yeah, I didn't know my mic was going to be on and I meant to say it behind your back. But,
you can just say, like, I was having a bad moment. And
yeah.
We all have those days.
And then maybe it could make you reflect on the fact that, like, should I be saying things if that person I'm talking about is listening?
Yeah, it's exactly
Do you know
that.
what I mean? Like, should you be saying that anyway?
Don't say something you wouldn't say to their face.
Exactly.
It's that kind of thing, isn't it?
Obviously, everyone has slip-ups, so don't feel, like, super bad about it. Everyone has slip-ups time to time. But... yeah, just laugh it off. Just laugh it off. And also, I used to get comments on my TikTok all the time. If I was ever wearing a mic in a video where I'm just like chatting backstage or like being like, this is how my quick change works and showing it whilst I'm wearing a mic, one of the top comments is always like, aren't you scared your mic is on? And it's like, no, I'm not scared that my mic's on.
Because I think as kids in Amdram, it gets drilled into you, doesn't it?
Don't
that,
speak backstage.
To kind of explain why that is, it's because... whoever would be on the soundboard of an Amdram is not a professional person. Them trying to like turn people's mics on and off, they probably do just turn them all up and
turn them all up.
Hope for the best. Whereas there's a guy actually called Simon France who was our head of sound on Sister Act, and he has these amazing videos where he shows him like mixing a scene. And it really is in the professional world, like on and off every single line someone is saying. So it would be really rare for someone's mic to get left on.
Yeah, especially like, you know, we're going to the toilet, we're calling home, we're doing like, we're doing all sorts. Like I'm having, although anyone on the sound team can listen in to your mic at any time. They're not meant to, but they can. So like anytime you're wearing a mic, I would maybe, if you're saying something private, maybe cover it or not talk like that. But in terms of it being heard from the audience, you should be okay. But yeah, anyway, talking about Sister Act, segue. Talk to me about Sister Act. So it's been part of your life for quite a long time, right?
I did it for 2.5 years.
All in one go?
So initially, my contract was for a year.
Yeah.
And that's all they thought it was going to be. So it had meant to be on pre-COVID and the part that I played had been cast and all of that sort of stuff. And then it kept getting delayed. The cast changed quite a lot and they needed to replace. It was literally like a handful of characters.
Yeah.
And it was whilst we were in Heathers, it was the February of 2022. Yeah, I just got an email from my agent like, you've got an audition to play Mary Robert. And I remember being like, Mary Robert? God, that's doesn't seem like the right part. I was like, you sure it's not Mary Patrick? She was like, no, it's definitely Mary Robert.
Interesting that you thought it wasn't the right part. Like, why do you think that is?
Because you wouldn't have someone who looks like me play that part.
Yeah, which is such an issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting because when I told people I was in Sister Act, they'd then always go, oh, it was Mary Patrick. And I'd be like, no, Mary Robert. So I think it's always the assumption of like, oh, there's a character in that show that is normally a bigger person, so no one else can be big. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I did 3 auditions that week. I did first round, a dance call, and then a final.
All whilst in Heathers?
All whilst in Heathers.
Busy lady.
Yeah, and it was 3 in a week. And I remember I did my final. And I think the more you audition, you do like get a vibe for if it's been good or not. And I don't know what it was about that final, but I like had that magical feeling of like, gosh, I've just like,
I think I've got this.
Given that my all. I had a really good feeling about it. And literally like, I think it was maybe a few days later, the next week, I was just on the train to work at Heathers and my agent rang. She was like, you're going to be Mary Robert in Sister Act. Oh my God.
And then you've performed on like the telly.
Yeah, it was the gift.
West End Live.
Genuinely the gift that kept on giving.
Oh my God.
It was like tick, tick, tick.
Was it Britain's Got Talent or A Big Night of Musicals or something like that?
We did all of them.
Oh my God.
Olivier's. We did the Olivier's.
Oh my gosh.
That was crazy. Was
it scary?
Honestly. I get so nervous anyway. Like I'm a really nervous person. And the Olivier's is like a whirlwind because you do a sound check, but then by the time it's like happening, it's just gone in the blink of an eye. And I think the reason the Olivier's was really nerve-wracking for me is because it was like, well, this is all like the big dogs of theatre. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then it's just like little old me on stage singing with Beverly Knight. Like, it's like, what is this?
And it was a big moment as well because it's the...
And this was the thing.
I don't know the words.
They'd always choose Raise Your Voice. And I'm like, this... It's the hardest bit in the show for me.
I've never heard it go wrong. And
I mean, look, there were times, and the cast will attest this, there were times when it was horrendous.
Okay,
and you
but
do
was
just
it on
have
telly?
to like, no.
Fine.
The worst one when I had to do it was on This Morning because it was on live telly at like 11 a.m.
in a dry studio.
And I was literally like, I'd woken up at about 6 o'clock, downed like 2 litres of water. I was like, God. I've just got to make sure this is going to come out.
Yeah.
But that part of the show was always so daunting anyway, because the character barely even speaks before that, let alone sing.
Because that's the whole point.
The first thing you do is that massive bit of singing.
And everyone's like, where did that come from?
And it's very nerve-wracking. Me and whoever... We had so many different Doloreses, but we would always say it's very nerve-wracking playing a part in a show where the storyline is that you're an amazing singer.
Yeah, I know.
Because then you can't be anything less. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the storyline is about singing.
I used to feel like in Raise Your Voice, people would be sitting there like, come on then, do your riff. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's literally what
a bit where you're meant to come out and do a really good bit.
Yeah. And I'd be like,
thought
okay.
About that. Okay.
But yeah, it was really strange because we did it at the Hammersmith Apollo first, and that was for like a really limited run. And I loved that. And I think when you're at the start of a job, you've still got all of that adrenaline. Like every day feels really exciting. And then we went on tour, and I love being on tour because I think as a performer, you feel like the stakes are just not as high because you haven't got people there all the time. From the industry. Yeah, it just kind of feels like, do you know what? I'm taking this show to the people of Aberdeen, and that is so lovely for me because they probably wouldn't be able to go see it in London, and it's kind of this really relaxed thing. And then I don't know what it was, but as soon as we went back to the Dominion, I was just putting all of this pressure on myself of like, you like convince yourself Steven Spielberg's in the audience every day, and you kind of feel like, oh my gosh, I have to be perfect. And it was this massive like learning curve for me of learning to like give myself the grace of going, I don't have to be perfect every day, and actually my like 20% is enough. Probably I don't have to be like I'm at 100 every day. But it was amazing, and that I think that show for me will forever be the job that literally like changed my life and changed my career, which is funny because I thought that would be Hairspray, but because it happened during COVID, so many things we just couldn't do. We didn't even have a press night for Hairspray.
Wow, okay. So there was like less surrounding it and stuff.
So Sister Act was just, it was amazing.
What you were saying about like your 20% is probably enough, like that's something I really struggle with because I feel like when I'm on stage, I feel like I've always got so much to prove because this is probably all in my head, but I feel like I've got so much to prove because people just think I'm there because I've got followers that I feel like nervous to give anything less than my 100%. I don't know, like I haven't quite got used to the fact that like I can just go out and what I will give will be enough. Do you know what I mean? And it's like constantly the constant worry of like who's watching, like anyone could be in at any point, and like who's gonna make a video saying that I was rubbish, like and try and cancel me or something like that. And it's like I'm still not quite there, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, and
so
it's
really
a blessing and a curse because it means you care about your job.
Yeah.
And like you will have worked with people, and I have, where you're like, you don't care, do you? You are just like going through the motions today. And it that always winds me up because I know I put so much into my job. But you have to do whatever your best is that day. I think that the headspace that you get yourself into is like, oh, I remember the exact date and theatre I was in when I sang Life I Never Led the Best. So how do I ever get back to like that performance?
Yeah.
I got to a point on Sister Act where my headspace had got so bad with it that I actually spoke to management, and they sent me to this amazing singing teacher called Claire Underwood.
Okay.
And she does quite a lot of like a holistic approach to singing. And she essentially did like therapy for singing with me, and it was amazing. And it was very much like what we were just saying of like, you can only do what your best is that day. She gave me this mantra that was like, sing with the voice you have today. Your voice is going to be different every single day. We did a lot of work of like, what is it that's worrying you and how can we go about it and all of that kind of stuff. And at the time it was difficult, but I'm really grateful I've been through it, because unless you have those moments, you're not going to tackle them.
Yeah.
And I think for people like you, it's so much worse, because for me, the beauty of theatre has always been that like, if you have a bad show, it's existed in front of those people that were in the theatre at that time, and you can go home and you forget about it and you move on. Whereas there does feel like there's this permanence to it now, which shouldn't exist.
Yeah. I think with social media making everything so accessible, with the bootlegs and with stuff like that, it feels like if every performance isn't perfect, then that's going to be documented for the rest of time. And I think often often people forget that the movies and, you know, artists with albums and stuff like that hasn't been recorded in one go. Like it's, you know, like the Wicked movie, for example, is perfection. Like it looks perfect. Every bit of choreography is perfect. Every vocal is perfect. They didn't film it all in one take. It took them 2 years or something like that to film that. And obviously I'm not saying like having those things are bad. Like obviously I love the Wicked movie and I'm very excited for part 2. Please invite me to the premiere. But it's like people expect that perfection all the time. And live theatre is simply just not that. And it's not meant to be that. It's not as exciting, is it? If you watch live theatre and it's all been pre-recorded. And
no.
I mean, a lot of shows do have click tracks.
Yeah, they do.
Which you might not realise.
But there's beauty in the imperfection of it. And I think there's beauty in the fact that like that particular show, it was those people in that room who saw it. And then the next day is different. And I do quite a lot of like vocal coaching when I'm not performing now, and I always will say to my students, like, we're not aiming for perfection, we're aiming for being in the moment, believing everything that we're saying. And sometimes that leads to a less than desirable vocal performance. But when I go and watch a show, I care way more about like believing everything that person's saying than them doing 700 million riffs and opt-ups and trying to go in and be like, I'm just going to be vocally impressive today. I don't think that needs to be our priority. I think our priority is being in the moment, being the character, like believing what we're saying, and that's what we should be
and telling the story,
striving for. So I do think it is a weird place, and I think it is leading to a lot more anxiety amongst performers, because it is kind of this weird hybrid of like, oh, is someone filming it today, or is someone important in the audience, and all of this stuff which 5 years ago we weren't really having to think about. But it's something that we can work through, and like
we're adapting.
We are. And I think normalizing it is really important as well, and just talking to people about it and being like, it's actually okay to not feel really confident in your job every day, and actually being nervous is normal when you're about to go and do something really difficult in front of 2,000 people.
Yeah, like it's intense.
I think if you don't find that nerve-wracking, that's weird.
It's weird though, because when you get in the motions of a show, sometimes, you know, you get towards the end of a run and you're not nervous for every show. Like, but for me, when I'm playing myself, for like, if I'm doing a live show where I'm literally just going on and chatting, and like, I get more nervous for things like that, because like, I much prefer to follow a script and know, not much prefer, but like, my comfort zone is being told where to go, what to do, following a script. So like doing the podcast, you know, going on stage at Musical Con and like doing a segment in front of the audience where I wasn't performing, I was just like hosting as such, is way more nerve-wracking for me. But I do still love it. So
I think it's
been a weird
the mentality of like, if you're then judged, it's like a personal attack because you're being yourself. Rather than if you're playing a character, it's like, oh, well, they were bad at that character.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it is weird. And again, like even performers doing things as themselves, that's new territory. Like we wouldn't have really done much stuff like that back in the day. It was like people only had access to you if they booked a ticket to go and see you in
as
that show. Whereas now we're all just very accessible. I think.
And I also think a lot of shows now are, so like Six, for example, I was doing my version of Catherine Howard or Anne Boleyn or Catherine Parr, but like me just listing all the characters I played. I was playing my version of the Queens, and a lot of that came from me. You know, I'm not actually playing a reincarnation of Catherine Howard, because
why not?
Why the hell not? We were pop star versions of them, so I brought so much of myself to that role. So in a way, that's helped prepare me for things like this, because I don't know, I would get comments. I feel like I've been talking a lot about my hate comments, but I would get comments being like, she's not on the bootlegs. This isn't acting, she's just playing herself. And I'm like, but we all are. But because you see so much of me with the podcast and with the vlogs and with the content, you know me so well.
They know too much.
You know, they know me so well that they know that's me, you know, my version of the character. But I will bring parts of myself to every character I play. You know,
that's the point. I think there's this real misconception, right, that when you go and audition for a show, you are recreating how that part has always been played, right? And people think they've got to like adapt themselves to that character. And what I always tell people is I'm like, no. You've got to know what your USP is. You've got to know what you can bring to that character, where they're going to go, oh my gosh, what a lovely like fresh new take on that character. And they've imbued it with like their lived experience and their personality. Like, that's what they want, because otherwise you might as well just watch the film of it again and again with the same person in it. We want new versions of things. We want to see what different people are going to bring to stuff. I do think that some of it is like the genre of stuff that is out at the moment. You know, there's not that much wiggle room for like new exciting takes on things.
Yeah.
But I think there are some shows which do it really, really well when they will have like different people go in, and the whole point is to see like how differently those people are going to do it. Like, I don't know, there was a play called Constellations that was on a few years ago, and the whole point of it was that they'd have different couples do like a week-long run of it, and so people would book multiple times to be like, oh, let's go and see how differently this actor does it. And that's that's like the beauty of it, I think. So
it's not so clinical, is it then?
No.
And it's more like, it's fresh. And I think I always think with shows that are like long-standing shows, you kind of hear word in the industry that like they're really strict on making sure your left pinky toe, is that a thing? Your left pinky toe is on number 5 and your right arm comes to this. And I get it that the show gets set and like that's what it is. But I do hear more and more about shows being really specific about, no, you have to say it with this intonation and you have to say it how this person did it. And like, that's just what it is. And it's like, there isn't as much opportunity to put your take on the characters really. So yeah, I'm glad to have done a show like 6 and even, you know, like Heather's where there was more freedom to kind of do our own thing.
That's how it should be. Like, I think as an actor, you want to go and be creative, and actually it's not like that a lot of the time. But I think it's actually really lovely to hear that on 6 you were encouraged to do your own version of things. Like that's really lovely to hear, and I think that is what will keep people going back to see it, because they will be like, how's this person going to do it? How's that person going to do it? And it keeps it exciting.
It does indeed. Well, Lizzie, it's been so nice sitting down with you. I feel like we've just had a nice little catch up.
Well, you know, that's what we're
There's
here
just 3
for.
cameras on us as we're doing it. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Round of applause for Lizzie Bea in the studio, everybody.
Thanks,
and round of applause for Dolly. I feel like you've not seen her. Dolly.
Dolly, do you want to come here? Come on.
She's like, no.
Perform,
Dolly,
please?
come here.
Oh,
big stretch, Dolly. Look at her. Will you sit down?
You sit.
Sit. Good girl. Oh my God. Dolly's come out to say goodbye. She's
Says
like,
I'm
okay.
the real star of today.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lizzie and Dolly,
Pleasure.
for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you all so much for watching or listening to this episode. Make sure to like, comment, send in your confessions and your hotlines to hello@howveryhannah.com, and make sure to follow us on Spotify and subscribe to the YouTube. You're like writing notes like, what else do we have to do, Hannah?
We have to do all this stuff.
Literally do all this stuff. Make sure you buy my book and buy some merch. No, I'm kidding.
Or else you'll get a knuckle sandwich.
Long story, inside joke. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.